This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up on Destructoid, I went hands-on with the spooky new Sleeping Dogs DLC. Uncle Reggie is bringing a pile of new games to the 3DS, and Tara got to play with the Borderlands iOS game. We've got the details coming up right now on Destructoid Live.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Friday, Max.
Oh, it's Friday.
It is Friday. So why are you wearing a sweater shirt combo?
I don't know.
It's much too formal.
It's Fancy Friday. All my dirty ass Hawaiian shirts are in the wash.
Why can't you just dress like crap like me, Max?
I was gonna say you look nice today, but apparently you don't do compliments on Fridays.
No, I was just fishing for compliments actually, so that's nice. So we actually have a show packed full of breaking news today, but more important than any of that is today's giveaway. Devolver Digital was nice enough to donate 5 codes for their latest ultra-violent mindfuck game, Hotline Miami, which has been getting really good reviews all over the place. Alistair Pinsoff reviewed it for Destructoid, the website, not the show, because our reviews are different from theirs. And he called it addictive, fun, and clever, and I actually had a chance to play it myself for a little bit yesterday, and I wholeheartedly agree. So basically, you want this game, and we have this game, and we're going to try to give you the game that we have. These are Steam codes we have. They are PC only. All you need to do to win one is tweet I'm watching at Destructoid Show live at youtube.com/Destructoid for a chance to win Hotline Miami for PC. So yeah, do that, and then we will announce some winners at the end of the show.
Even if you don't win a code for this, you should go check out the soundtrack, which I think has, I think Devolver has that up on their SoundCloud.
Oh, the soundtrack is really good.
It's so good. It's like the best video game soundtrack I've heard in a while. It sounds like actual music.
Yeah.
Like that normal people would listen to.
It's exactly what I imagine people listen to in Miami at all times, basically.
Not like the cool Miami where everyone's like having sex and dancing with like low-cut belly shirts, but more like the kind where people get cut up with chainsaws and
not Will Smith Miami.
Right.
Like Debbie
Yeah.
Miami.
Also, I dropped my script on the ground, so
I'm sorry.
We're gonna mess some stuff up. All right, before we get into the video game news, here is a rather dismal piece of video game news. G4 has announced the cancellation of Attack of the Show and X-Play, effective at the end of December. With the departure of Kevin Pereira and Adam Sessler earlier this year, as well as G4's previously announced plans of sort of a non-gaming rebranding, more of a GQ spin. We kind of saw this coming, but now it's official. So Attack of the Show first aired back in 2005, and X-Play has been around for almost a decade, dating back to the days of Tech TV, and whether you love them or hate them or want to make some offhand joke about Cops reruns or episodes of Cheaters, this has been a big part of gaming as it's blossomed into a mainstream part of pop culture, as well as growing from a girl into a grown woman. That's right, gaming is a lady.
Oh.
So in any case, hats off to everyone at G4. I hope you guys all land on your feet, and let's do the video game news now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So Nintendo Direct has released a 30-minute long trailer, which I didn't even know Reggie could like.
It's not a trailer.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind
like
of
a trailer if you're
shows
referring
off.
to trucks, maybe, but
It's like a cut-together trailer showing all of the 3DS's lineup over the next few months. And aside from Reggie's really robotic oration, there's some actually pretty neat stuff in there. Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask, for instance, looks wonderful as always. It goes back to his high school days, interestingly enough. That's actually out today in Europe. It's going to release on Sunday in North America. According to Reggie, they're going to be releasing 365 free puzzles for that, one for each day, which you'll be able to download from the eShop. And I think that's kind of a theme with a lot of these games, is that they're going to be having free daily content that you can download. Following that is the release of Paper Mario Sticker Star on November 11th, which, I mean, just look at it. It's adorable and also kind of insane and weird. Like, there are goats in the game for no random reason that turn into stickers.
When has Mario ever made sense at all?
That's true, but this is a little more crazy than usual. Some other retail titles that are coming are Animal Crossing New Leaf, which is the new Animal Crossing game where you play as the mayor of your town, as you can see by this fancy top hat, which indicates that he's a mayor, also the leather chair. And of course, Fire Emblem Awakening, which just looks absolutely incredible. I don't even want to describe this to you because I feel like you should just watch it. I'll just ruin whatever it is. But that looks amazing. Both of those are out in early 2013. As for the eShop, there is quite a few good games in there as well. Nicholas, the guys who developed Cave Story 3D and VVVVVVV, That was 6, right? Yeah, he released a game today called Night Sky, which is a physics-based puzzle platformer. Kind of looks like Limbo a little bit, but with a little bit more color.
Katamari to Limbo.
Yeah, Jonathan Holmes actually reviewed this for Destructoid today and gave it an 8 out of 10. So he seemed to really like it. You guys can buy this right now on the eShop for $9.99. And Nicholas is also developing a 3DS port of the old underwater exploration game Ika-chan. So if any of you remember that, then there's your nostalgia boner.
Hardcore underwater exploration crowd, I guess.
Also coming to the eShop is Crashmo, the sequel to Pushmo, which I absolutely adore. This one introduces gravity into this situation, which is kind of an interesting thing, so blocks can fall if there's nothing underneath them. You can also move blocks from side to side and rotate the camera 360 degrees, so it's kind of like Fez, but not in an actual utilitarian sense, just in the sense that, you can actually see what's going on. That's out on the eShop November 22nd, followed by Fluidity Spin Cycle on December 27th, which is another game in the Fluidity series. Also very fun, and you'll be able to use the accelerometer on your 3DS to completely turn it around.
Pretty sure they got the name for that game on a washing machine.
Yes, I bet they did. Very astute, Max. That is coming out on December 27th. Last but not least, Level 5 is developing their Guild 01 Trilogy series, where basically they're making a trilogy and every game in the trilogy is made by a different game designer. So the first one is out today, actually. It's called Liberation Maiden, and it's by Suda51. It is a shooter set 100 years into the future, and it looks pretty nuts. I've heard it's kind of short, but definitely worth your time. Like I said, that is available today. The other two games are Aeroporter, which is an airport management simulator by Yute Saito, the guy behind Seaman, so I'm sure that's just going to be weird and crazy. And then the third one is Crimson Shroud, which is a fantasy RPG that's being made by Yasumi Matsuno from the Final Fantasy series. Both of those will be out by the end of the year, and they will probably be similarly priced.
So is this like a supposed to be a coherent trilogy?
I don't think the games necessarily tie into each other.
Pretty funny if they tried to make them all connected. I'm not sure
what the deal is with the Guild 01 series. I just know that that's what they're planning.
You play as a woman who turns into a jet, and then she lands at the airport, and then one of the baggage handlers is reading a fantasy novel, and it goes into his book while
he's reading it. That would be cool, actually. Pro tip.
Hey, Japan, hire me.
So what are you guys most excited for out of all of these? I know you don't have a 3DS, but your girlfriend does.
Yeah, but I'm not letting her play sexy jet girl robot game.
That's for you only.
I want to date a jet.
That's weird. Personally, I'm really excited for Crashmo and Night Sky. I'm definitely going to be downloading those. Also, Professor Layton looks so good, and Fire Emblem, really. It's fun. We're finally getting into good season for the 3DS, I think. Or just good season for games in general. But yeah, what are you guys excited for? Anything? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, tell us.
I'll regurgitate that later.
Our little gentleman of the social medias, Nick Robinson, is in the chat, replying to all of your things and taking notes on who's been naughty and who's been nice so that we can give you prizes at the end of the show. So at this point in time, if you have not been paying attention, it's really not uncommon that before a game is even out in stores, its publisher has already begun promoting its downloadable content. Well, some publishers are behind the times and they wait entire weeks to reveal it. That's right. Bethesda released Dishonored a whopping 17 days ago. And it has taken them until now to finally tell us what the DLC is going to be.
It's like they don't even care about money.
I don't know if you guys know this, Bethesda, people who don't own a calendar, but 17 days is over 2 weeks. So if you guys managed to not completely forget about that game, Dishonored, that came out like 1,000 years ago, here's what's planned in the way of add-ons. For starters, in December, players are going to take part in the Dunwall City Trials, a set of 10 challenges that players can use to test their skills and compete with friends via online leaderboards and probably run around and stab things in a certain amount of time and be fast and stealthy or whatever.
That is how that game works.
That is coming in December for $5 or 400 Microsoft points. And if you're dying for more substantial story-based DLC, you will have to sit tight until next spring, but you will get a new campaign expansion centered on Dodd. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Dodd. Stepdod, as he leads his group of assassins and also has his own collection of powers and abilities, some of which are new, which is exciting. We're going to get a third piece of DLC, which will also be campaign-driven, but we don't know anything about that yet. That will come out sometime in 2013, but not this year, because this year is almost over. Probably not 2014 unless Bethesda falls asleep while taking a nap again, because it took them this long to announce the DLC. Oh no. What do you guys think? I mean, I know that I think the trial stuff is interesting. I think it makes sense, you know, for $5. I think some people might bitch about it. I mean, they bitched about paying $60 for Dishonored because it wasn't a long enough game, and it's like, pretend trials for $5 with leaderboards. Do you want that? Is that a thing you like? Are you gonna hold out for the story-based stuff?
Yep.
Back
to you, the laptop goes.
We're playing a great game of solitaire on here right now.
I've got our breaking news of the day, Max. A few weeks ago, I told you guys about how I was going to appear as a background dancer in Zumba Fitness Core, and then we proceeded to show some really creepy footage of me in the game. Well, my friends, I am happy to announce that the game finally came out last week, which means that you can now dance the night away with me like you've always wanted, and for once, I won't look like an idiot. At least, well,
I wouldn't go
at least not
that.
intentionally. Obviously, I can't review the game since that's, you know, a bit of a conflict of interest since I'm in it. But I would encourage you to check it out anyway if you're looking to lose weight or tone up, because it's a lot more intense than the previous Zumba games, and there's preset and custom workouts, which surprisingly a lot of dance games still don't offer. So yeah. Also, there's just some really weird stuff in there. It's not just Enrique Iglesias songs, but they do have one in there. They've got Bollywood routines, they've got Russian folk dancing, a bunch of different international dance styles that I didn't even know existed. So it's a little bit more comprehensive than some of the other dancing games out there, and I think it's a little bit better for beginners since the focus here is more on just moving rather than performing, you know, correctly precise dance moves. So yeah, Zumba Fitness Core is out now for Kinect and Wii. It's $40 and I'm in it, which is awesome. If you want to read some real reviews with opinions and things, you can always check out the listing on Amazon. It's sitting at 5 stars right now, which I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty sure that might have something to do with a little backup dancer by the name of Tara. Yeah.
Is that you?
5 stars.
I don't know,
10
Tara.
out of 10 right there.
That kind of looks like
I'm
Andrea.
dancing in front of the Bellagio.
That kind of looks like Andrea from Machinima. I don't know.
No, her hair is way more curly than mine.
There's Carol right behind her. See?
Well, I haven't dyed my hair in a while, so.
I don't know. I don't think that's you. That doesn't
It's
look
because
like
of the
you at all.
boobs, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that their slogan is "Party your abs off," which, by all logic, if you're trying to get rid of your abs, partying is a great way to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
Just get hammered drunk and then eat cheeseburgers.
No.
Yeah.
You're missing the point.
Keg stands and pizza.
All right,
That's how
enough
you
of
party
this.
your abs off.
All right.
Let's take a word from our sponsor.
Let's do that. Netflix streams TV episodes and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and the hassle of having to flip through channels just to find something good. With Netflix, it's fast and easy to watch your favorite shows and movies on your PC or Mac, or streaming right to your television. All you need is a PS3, Xbox 360, or a Nintendo Wii. And I'm sure you have one of those, don't you? Don't you? For a limited time, Netflix is offering all Destructoid viewers their own free trial membership. Just visit netflix.com/Destructoid and sign up. And remember, Netflix is now available in the UK and Ireland. So if you're watching from overseas, all you have to do is check out netflix.co.uk/Destructoid if you're in the UK, or netflix.ie/Destructoid if you're in Ireland. Also, apparently Netflix is available in Scandinavia now.
We had some of our commenters chime in with that, like Norway or Skyrim or wherever it is there. But we'll talk to our people about getting URLs for you guys to type things into.
Geography.
So this morning, an exciting thing happened. A man came to our office and he brought with him an Xbox. And on the Xbox, he had the new Sleeping Dogs DLC, Nightmare in North Point. We heard about this DLC a few weeks ago. I think it was the same episode as your dumb Zumba fitness thing with the where you
Don't you? That's how it worked to me.
I hate you. But anyway, I was sort of starting to worry that we weren't going to see any like proper expansions to Sleeping Dogs other than just like weapons packs and race tracks and things. But fortunately, Nightmare in North Point was announced, and it's just completely ridiculous in all of the right ways. It starts out with Wei Shen, who's the game's hero, and he's coming out of a movie with Not Ping, who you might remember from the main story. And there's, what is it, Old Salty Crab, I think that guy's name is. And you're on this date and you see like a bad horror movie and you're just like, that's a bad horror movie. And he's like, oh no, evil spirits are real. And then all of a sudden, an undead guy in a cat mask shows up and he's like, Shazam! And then he steals Not Ping and kidnaps her. Seriously, this happens in like a matter of a minute, and you have to chase him down. It's just like, man, that sure was a crappy movie. Oh hey, a demon stole my girlfriend. I better chase his trail of green flaming footsteps. Why not? So long story short, the guy in the mask is Smiley Cat, who was a Triad member who was turned into cat food, literally. and then came back from hell, which is where you go after getting turned into cat food, I guess, with his army of Jiangshi, who are Chinese vampires who hop up and down. They hop up and down like on invisible pogo sticks.
That's creepy.
And they bite you in the neck. And you have to fight them. And since you're fighting the undead, the whole like earning cop points versus triad points just kind of goes out the window. And so does your face meter, because if you're acting like a badass against undead people, they probably don't really care because they're undead. So you wind up fighting a demon eventually, who is terrifying and who you can't exactly fight by normal means. So you have to go and collect ingredients for mystical tea, which includes a ghost pepper and some antifreeze.
Because sure.
Why would you not want to drink that to get magic powers? So upon drinking the tea, you get a new meter, which is pretty much just your face meter again. So basically every time you do a successful takedown, you get magic flaming fists of lightning, and you can actually fight the demon. And it's cool, and you punch and kick things. There's a few familiar faces in the game. One of your old gang members who dies in the main game has come back as a hungry ghost, and he's just sort of like, hey, yo, Wei, can I get some noodles? And he just like pops up in like a puff of green flames, and you're like, bah, you scared me.
Noodles, that's racist.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's China, man. Everyone's eating noodles and stuff. I don't know. Is that racist? I eat noodles.
I was just kidding.
So anyway, it's completely ridiculous. Like, they don't try and pretend this is like some serious like tie-in to the main story. They're just like, yep, it's pretty much like, you know, if Big Trouble in Little China had a baby with the music video for Thriller and the music video for Beat It, and it's a video game. And this is coming out October 30th. We do not have a price point yet, but they said somewhere in the range of cheap, which is good. I'm stoked about it. I'm really excited about this. I've already said how much I love Sleeping Dogs. It's probably my game of the year. I mean, we haven't played all the games that are going to come out this year, but it's hovering up there. I mean, I still put it in to play it because it's fun. October 31st is the day it's coming out. That's Halloween, if you're unfamiliar. So spooky things are good.
Yes.
And they said it's going to take, you know, if you're burning through the DLC, it'll probably take about 2 hours. But if you're, you know, having fun and taking your time, you also get like a peachwood sword, which is like a magic wooden sword for hitting the bad guys with it.
All right then.
And that is my book report on a video game. Yeah.
Good job, Max. Here's your gold star. All right, well, that's not the only thing that's coming out on October 31st. Borderlands is apparently on iOS now. We talked about this earlier this week, or last week even maybe. Borderlands Legends is the upcoming Borderlands iOS game. I got to check it out earlier this week. It's actually really good. Like, I say actually because you think about a Borderlands iOS game and you're like, well, that's just a vessel for microtransactions. I don't know, maybe if you're pessimistic me, but it's actually really good. It's a top-down strategy action RPG. So not at all what you were probably expecting. You control all 4 characters from the first game, and it's got, you know, skill trees, it's got inventory full of loot, all the maps and objectives and stuff are randomly generated, so it's theoretically endless, and there's just quite a bit of content there, I have to say. I actually went on this week's episode of App Judgment to give my opinion about the game, which launches again on October 31st on iOS. 2K has also confirmed actually that it will be coming to other mobile platforms. So
PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, PlayStation. No, it's going to be coming to Android probably soon. So if you want to see my preview, you can find that on youtube.com/appjudgment, and I'll obviously have a link in this video as well. Over on our Rev3 Games channel, we also just put up a preview of Zombie U's multiplayer, which I got to mess around with last week. It's another RTS kind of, so again, not at all like what you'd expect, but I actually, again, had a lot of fun with this. We're going to be putting up our producer Zach's preview of the single-player Zombie U in the next couple days as well. So look out for both of those on youtube.com/rev3games. And of course, we will have links in the video as always.
Aww,
so
good.
Yeah, Zombie U, I gotta say, the first time I saw it at E3, I was not that impressed with it. I'm a lot more satisfied this time around. I got to do both single and multiplayer, although I wasn't in the single player preview, but yeah, it's actually really good. It's very survival horror-ish, which I was surprised by. Yeah, it's got that very kind of slow-paced, you know, like action to it, but at the same time, like it's incredibly difficult. Like the ammo and health are both really scarce. So
that's good. So it's not just blasting.
It's more Resident Evil than Resident Evil 6, like based on my initial impressions.
So you can't crawl around on your buttocks.
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. That could
much
just
for
be
that
some
pre-order,
some
Ubisoft.
surprise they're waiting to reveal.
Let's see. We have some winners for our contest. We have, this was for, of course, Hotline Miami, and this was via Twitter. You should get a Twitter. It's fun. I like Twitter. Do you like Twitter?
I love Twitter.
It's fun things. The winners were Rafs, Voltagier, Exton, Browner 2008,
Ew.
and Emil from. They all sound, I feel like a parent pronouncing Pokemon names or reading a kid's shopping list for Christmas. It's
Ooh.
crazy. We
Wow.
also had some questions about things,
Yeah.
comments.
Congratulations to the winners. Also, we will get in touch with you through either Twitter or YouTube. Probably Twitter. So make
Twitter.
sure you're following us. Detroit Show.
You have to be following us.
That's our Twitter account.
Yep, you have to close your eyes, otherwise you can't see the magic
And
in
if
your
you
brain.
didn't win a code, go buy the game anyway.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
awesome.
$10, and check out the soundtrack if you're not
It is.
interested in the game because it's a good soundtrack. We have some questions for you, Tara, about Zumba Fitness.
Oh.
So Robo Addy says, Tara Long Simulator 2012.
Is that a question?
No. Treeblaze12 says, LOL. She looks creepy in game.
I look creepy in person,
This is
depending
true.
on, you know.
You can't see
Your
it,
eyeballs.
but Tara has like a large horn on the back of her head.
I'm also
like
battery powered,
Yeah.
much like Reggie.
Tara's she's kind of a scary monster sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Recyclops? That's a cool name. How did Tara get in the game?
I can't.
Just say VR headset.
What?
Just say somebody spilled soda on the computer.
I'm not gonna say any of those things. I
Okay.
previewed the first, not the first Zumba Fitness game, Zumba Fitness Rush, the one that came before this. And I met the producer and one of the PR chicks who works on the game also. And they were super nice, and they, I guess, liked me a lot, and so they put me in the second game without even, me having to ask or anything. So that was cool. And then I felt bad when they were like, "You want to review our game?" And I was like, "Ooh, I can't."
You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah.
We get some questions for Sleeping Dogs DLC. Inzeister said just Big Trouble in Little China equals, and then little heart sign. I'm with you 100%. I love that movie so much. It's the best movie. Max, what other crazy things would you like to see as DLC for Sleeping Dogs? And from Dark Phoenix 85. I honestly don't know. Unless you actually put in like a CG Kurt Russell and made it like a co-op game where one person is like awkwardly throwing knives and kissing Kim Cattrall and the other person's actually doing like karate, then maybe that, but I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Huh.
Let's see. The Culp Clop said, did this Sleeping Dogs DLC have the titular dogs? No, it just had an undead cat man. So I don't know what else you want. I'm hoping for more games with dogs.
That game sounds so weird if you haven't played it. Like, every word you used in that Sleeping Dogs DLC
it's
story
cool 'cause
made
it's-
like no sense
Well,
without
it's-
context.
Well, I mean, it's Chinese mythology versus like, as opposed to just like Western stuff where they're like, what's happening soon? Halloween's in October. Put a zombie in the game. You know, they're like, how about this? Popping Chinese vampires, why not? You know,
But
and
it's
peachwood
also
swords.
for Halloween. It's not any like more true.
Yes, it is.
No.
Probably.
Well, how do you know that zombies don't really exist?
Because I've read a book
Have you
on
ever
it.
seen one in real life?
Here's a good question.
I didn't think so.
Colorful Robot 37 said, why are those zombies jump?
All right, on that note, let's wrap this thing up. Unless you have a real answer to that.
I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay, so you guys can go follow us on Twitter if you so please. I am on there at Tara Longest. He is Max Scoville, and together we are at Detroit Show. This weekend is pre-Halloween festivities,
Yeah,
right?
it's excitement.
Yeah,
Fun
you got
things.
anything fun planned?
I have to make a costume for Halloween.
All right.
Let's see how that goes. We'll be back here on Monday. You guys have a safe and happy, spooky, haunted magic weekend. Avoid the jumping Chinese vampires.
Don't eat the apples. They have razors in them.
Yeah, you might have
I saw
apple
it
allergies too. Be careful.
on A Current Affair.